Hello and welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
Hello. Joe has just informed me that he's hungry, so that probably means he's going to be grumpy.
I'm going to try not to be grumpy.
Welcome to what episode is 221? Can you even believe that?
Seems unreasonable.
Seems a bit unlikely, doesn't it? Today I'm drinking water and you're not drinking anything.
Oh, it's just a mess. It's just an awful mistake. Everything's gone wrong.
Okay. Right. We're going to be talking today about writing excuses, more writing excuses.
All right.
Or, maybe not excuses.
Perfectly valid reasons why somebody might not want to write a book.
Yeah, but writing excuses is pithier.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, we'll do our usual rambling pre-ramble if you like.
Okay.
Pre-ramble. What are you reading, Joe?
Oh, we need to move this feature off this podcast.
No, you need to read a new book.
I'm really looking forward to the time when I'm not going to be reading Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
So am I.
Oh my god.
There's a whole pile of anti-racist books.
All
on
the other
coffee
books
table.
in the world, and I'm reading this. I know.
I am reading. Actually, I've literally just finished reading Under the Skin by Michel Faber, and Dom sent me that book. So thank you, Dom. I really enjoyed it. It was weird. I enjoyed it. It's kind. I'm not going to tell you what it was. It's like, I don't know. It's like a cross between Animal Farm and like, I don't know,
Something
Brave
else?
New World and a couple of other things. That was a very bad description. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was weird. And I'm now reading Only Forward by Michael Marshall Smith, which you've read, haven't you?
I have read Only Forward by Michael Marshall Smith, and
I'm loving it.
well, I enjoyed it, but I kind of felt like there was a meaning to it all that I didn't really notice.
Did you? Because I'm just getting it because it's
quite Hitchhikers.
It's quite Hitchhikers. It's very film noir.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's like
Private Detective.
Raymond Chandler does
Hitchhikers.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, yeah.
And it's really funny in places. It's beautifully written in places, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure it has a massive. Well, I haven't got that far through it yet, but I'm not sure it needs a massive underlying message. I think it's just one of those wonderful narrative stories.
Maybe
Which it might be.
Maybe.
So
anyway, what do you think when you get to the end of it?
I will do. We will probably discuss it right in this slot in a week or so.
As long as we don't have to talk about Wheel of Time, that'll be fine.
I don't want to talk about Wheel of Time, Joe. You need to read another book.
Good.
And for non-fiction, I'm reading Grit by Angela Duckworth, which I'm really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a whole episode on Grit at some point, which you can read the Blinkist version or something.
Is that on your with your Bookaholics group?
Yeah, that was June's Bookaholics book.
If anybody wants to join Bookaholics,
It's free. You can find it on my website underneath free stuff. This month's book, by the way, is Invisible Women by Caroline Perez Criado. I probably pronounced her name very badly. It's fascinating. Anyway, but Grit is really good. I'm really enjoying it. I was a bit worried it was going to be just kind of, you need to be gritty to succeed. And it's like, well, duh. But actually, it's really good. And I've got some really useful stuff about how to think about goals and life purpose and stuff like that. And I haven't even finished it yet.
cool.
So I'm really enjoying it. It's packed full of stories as well, so it's a really good example of how to write a great book, a great non-fiction book without making it dull. Also still reading How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi, because I read slowly when it's important stuff, because I want to make sure that I'm understanding everything. Also, I am going to be in a free kind of book club I said free, that's really irrelevant. A bunch of us are getting together to discuss that book on Friday evening, so I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
Anyway, books out the way. Quarantine Chronicles, what have we been doing?
Oh, we had your folks round for an afternoon the other day.
Yeah, really, like the hottest day of the year.
Very nice. Sunshine.
My brother and his family came over and it was great, and we were all like socially distanced in the garden, playing with the hose pipe with the kids, and it was just really good fun.
People brought picnics.
Yeah,
it was
so we
nice.
didn't have to do any cooking for people and kind of share, plates and stuff. It was really, really nice. And then we have harvested our beetroot and pickled it.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. So we've got big jars of pickled beetroot now.
Pickled beetroot.
Very excited about that.
Kitchen staple.
Yeah, kitchen is now stained pink, which is good. We have had a massive clear out of the inside-outside room.
Yeah, so the back of our house is a bit of a sort of boot room, washing machine-y,
Shit tip.
slidey door, plastic roof shit tip. And we kind of got in a bit of a frenzy the other day. And
We looked at it and we were like, we are disgusting.
yeah,
We
you know
need
when
to sort
you
this
kind of, it's like boiling lobsters or whatever, isn't it? It just kind of gradually gets worse, and we know we're knocking it all down at some point in the
Which
future.
just makes it more difficult
So you
because
can't be bothered to paint it, and you don't really care very much.
and it literally rains inside that room.
it does. So you just don't bother, and then it
Yeah.
gets worse and worse until at some point you think, oh my god, this is a mess.
Yeah, and it's basically just
quite
not very good, like lean-tos that have been kind of stuck on the back of a 17th century cottage.
It's very spidery.
It's very spidery, which is kind of fine. So we got rid of all of the spider webs, not the spiders. I don't touch spiders. I don't hurt spiders. They can build new webs. And yeah, so we cleaned it all out, and it is a much nicer place to be now. And there's a secret lesson in here, by the way. So, I like to build secret lessons into my podcasts. That it's one of those things that we've known we need to do for ages, and we've just put it off and put it off. Just starting something. There are magical powers about just starting something, because as soon as we started, motivation kicked in, and it was
fine,
like,
wasn't it?
oh yeah, we've got all this done.
It was almost enjoyable.
Yeah, in places.
Places.
It was almost enjoyable, and yeah, so just start. Tell yourself you're going to do something for 5 minutes. Everyone can do something for 5 minutes. And just start. Anyway.
And the results are nice. The results are great.
Are great, yes. I mean, I think normal people would still come in and be like, really, this is your version of amazingly clean and tidy? But we're quite pleased with it, aren't we?
Yes.
And exciting thing, it's not really a quarantine chronicle thing, but it's a cool thing. I was interviewed for the self-publishing show.
Nice.
And it went live over the weekend, and I'm so chuffed. And they have like 1.7 million downloads, and they've got tens of thousands of fans and followers and clients, thousands and thousands of clients. And it was a massive opportunity for me, and I really enjoyed it. And it's the first time I've ever watched back in full one of the interviews that I've done.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Link in the show notes?
The link is in the show notes. Absolutely. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Are you going to?
I will.
Because it's really good.
Every time I sit down to do something like watch that, you walk in and go, "What are you doing? Stop it! Isn't it time you cook dinner?" And I'm like, okay, I'll go and do that.
That's not true. And B, if you didn't cook dinner, we wouldn't eat. Right, anyway, back to writing excuses before my character gets assassinated on my actual own blog.
This is a podcast, not a blog.
Vlog, video, whatever. Anyway, writing excuses. A common worry that people have when they think about writing a book is that their competitors will steal all of their secrets if they put all of their secrets in a book.
Really? People say that?
Yeah, people worry about it. And they use it as an excuse not to write their book. So, question. Will your competitors read your book and steal your secrets?
No.
No. The end. Okay, maybe we need to go into that a little
Elaborate a bit more. Okay.
They might do. They might read your book and go, oh, I'm going to do all of this stuff exactly the same. But it really doesn't matter if they do that. It really doesn't matter. And here is why. We're going to explain over the rest of this podcast. Firstly,
Thing the first.
they're not you. So they can find out what your process or framework or blueprint or whatever, how your products are from pretty much anywhere. They can buy your stuff and find out.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that, and they can try and copy it, but they will be reverse engineering it from a totally different place. You're an engineer. What's the problem with reverse engineering something you don't understand the origins of?
You copy poorly. If you don't know the meaning behind the things, if you don't have the background, if you haven't done the right calculations, then you get it wrong. You just copy stuff mechanically and it fails.
Yeah. And business owners do this all the time, and I've done it myself in the past. I have gone and looked at, if I couldn't afford somebody's training course or whatever, I've gone and looked at what they've done to sell said training course to thousands of people, and I've been like, oh, I can see what they've done, and I've tried to reverse engineer it.
If they've got a page up, they've said some words, they've written some nice things, and they've offered it for sale.
Yeah. And so I've looked at that process. I might have even gone through the sales process all the way up to actually handing over the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing to do, by the way. You should, it's everybody does it. Go and find out what other people are doing. That's fine. But the problem with trying to kind of copy it and reverse engineer it is that you don't understand what's going on in the background, and you don't, really importantly, you don't know what their ultimate goal is. So maybe their ultimate goal isn't just to get people, signing up for their thing that they're selling. Their ultimate goal might be something completely different, like way down the line. And until you understand what that is, you can't reverse engineer accurately what they're doing. And even worse than that, you will just be a pale imitation of it.
Yes, and it's either in somebody else's voice because you're copying their style and their mechanisms, or it'll be in your voice but sort of somebody else's actions, and it just...
Or they will be, they will be trying to attract a totally different target market from you.
Yeah.
So what they're doing will work very well for them. It might not work at all for you. So, and conversely, what works really well for you might not work at all for your competitors if they're looking at what you're doing. So that's one reason why you shouldn't be worrying too much about this. Don't give it the time. The second thing is that the whole point of writing your book is to put your message out there and show who you really are. There is nothing new under the sun unless you are like right on the cutting edge of medicine or rocket science or something like that. But there are plenty of different slants on things that already exist, and that's what we're looking for here. So it's not so much what you do for people, it's the way you do it and the reason that you do it in that particular way. So your competitors might well offer something very similar to you, but they will have different reasons behind doing it their way. They will have come at it from a different point of view. So and the same for you. So if they're kind of looking at what you're doing and think, I'm just going to copy that, they don't know any of that stuff. They don't know, like we just said, they don't know why you're doing it. And if they're just trying to copy your slant on things, it's never going to come across as authentic because it is not authentic. They're always going to look like a copycat. And, let them get on with it. So the one thing that your competitors can't copy ever is you, your personality, your experience, your history, the life that you have led that has brought you to this point.
The relationships that you have formed.
Yeah, the relationships you've formed, exactly. And so let them get on with trying to do so and concentrate on your future. And I think that is probably the most important message that you want to take out of this episode of the podcast. Is going to be brought to you by a little bee called Beetrice. Because I have Noodle has got his foot stuck to the rug.
So our cat has decided it wants to leave.
Noodle wants to leave. He's not in it.
And he has got himself tangled up in the rug at the door. He's now pinned to it and I need to help.
Go and help him because he looks a bit panicky.
Lovely.
Oh, he's been a real cuddle all afternoon.
Hello.
There we go.
Off you pop.
Oh, I think he was a bit embarrassed. He was trying to lie down nonchalantly.
With one foot.
With one foot kind of sticking out awkwardly. Anyway, Beetrice. So, I have two bees living in my office. I have two mason bees living in my office because in my office are small holes because this is like a log cabin. And Beetrice moved in a few weeks ago and she built a nest in one of the holes. And so she's laid eggs and kind of walled one of them up and now she's moved into another one. And now I've also got Beverly the bee who's in a different part of my office. So I have to make sure that I'm here at regular points throughout the day to let the bees in and out, which is awesome. One of the bees hasn't figured out that she can get out the window yet, so I have to open the door for her when she asks me. It's great. Anyway, Beetrice is great because I can be doing whatever I want in the office. I might be wandering backwards and forwards to my little kitchen area. I might be wandering in and out the door. And if she flies out of her burrow, she won't fly into me, but she'll kind of be like, oh, and then she'll fly around me and then she'll carry on. And that's kind of what you need to do with your competitors. You need to be like Beetrice. She knows I'm there. She's not going to fly into my face because she doesn't want to, crash into me. But she'll just be like, oh, okay, there's an obstacle in the way. Or oh, okay, that's the person who sometimes lets me in through the window. I don't know if bees have that much cognition. I'm making, in my head she does. And then she flies out the window and she carries on and does her bee things that she does. And then she comes back and does her bee things. And then she flies out. And basically, I'm just like a moving chicane. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm really intrigued as to where this is going.
But that's what you need. That's what people need to be like with their books and their business. Because if they are worried that their competitors are going to steal from them, why are you putting that much energy into worrying about what your competitors are doing? If Beatrice put loads of energy into worrying what I was doing, like around her hole, then she would just, that would be a massive waste of energy for her. That's a great analogy.
Okay.
It's a great analogy.
All right, cool.
Anyway,
Cool.
I'm just going to caveat all of this with that if somebody actually steals your IP and they could damage your business, get your lawyers involved and have at them if it's worth the time and investment of doing so.
Yeah. Somebody steals your product and then tries to sell it to other people. That's
kind of shit. Well, it's illegal as well as shit. So yeah, if it's worth getting a lawyer involved, then fill your boots. But otherwise, just move on.
People are not going to form a business around copying what you do.
They're not. They're going to do what we all do at the beginning. They're going to be like, oh, I haven't got a clue. They're going to be as clueless as the rest of us. And they're going to be like, oh, I haven't got a clue. They look like they're doing really well. I'm going to try that. Without understanding all of the mechanics of what goes on underneath it. And they're going to do it not as well as you. Or they might look at your idea and be like, oh, I could do that and do it this way. Which, let's face it, is what a lot of us have done with our businesses. It's like, oh, okay, there's bazillions of people teaching people how to write books out there. I'm not being like, I'm the only person who can do this. But I'm the only person who does it in my way with my style. And that's the important thing. That's what I want to get across. And whilst I do pay attention to what is going on in my industry, and I'm quite friendly with a lot of people in my industry who are doing, who are my competitors. I did air quotes there for the benefit of people listening. I don't spend all my time following exactly what they're doing and thinking, oh, they're doing it like that, I need to do it like that. Because that's a massive waste of my time and energy. It's a massive waste of my time and energy. And so if you're spending a lot of time worrying, and also don't worry about people copycatting me either, because, if they do, they're going to either put their own slant on it and their own personality, which is great, they will attract the type of people that they want, or they will just look like they're copycatting me, and people will notice, and they'll look stupid, and I don't care. And that's the same way you need to be as well. Think about how much time these other competitors as well, this is the thing to think about, how much time are these competitors that you're worried about, how much time are they putting into copying what you're doing, probably badly, or at least not as well as you, rather than improving their own skills and growing their business. They're taking the focus off themselves and their business and putting it onto you, and that's crazy. You want to be really focusing on what you're doing with just an eye on what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Like Beetrice.
Also, I think as well, the things that you write in your book, you will develop as you write your book, and you will continue to develop after you've written your book.
Yeah.
It's that there are not many books written that are 100% current right now.
No, the nature of a book is that it's a static thing.
Sometime from the past, isn't it?
Yeah. Things have changed a little bit with ebooks. It's quicker to get a new edition of an ebook out, but they're not designed to be at the cutting edge of, that's not the idea. The idea of a book is not to be like the very latest ideas, and they're always going to be the very latest ideas. They are like a snapshot in history, a snapshot of a point in time, and they are great. Books that are now out of date are still useful to learn from, and yours will be as well. So really think about, how much time these like naughty competitors who you're worried are going to copy you.
Theoretical,
yeah, because
theoretical competitors that you're blaming your lack of writing a book on.
Yeah. Because if they're probably not paying that much attention to what you're doing anyway, because we all think that we're far more important than we are. And even if they are paying that much attention to what you're doing, they have taken their eye off their own ball, and that's not good for them. They're going to get behind. Keep your eye on what you're doing. There's a difference between also what people say they can do and what they can actually do. So your competitors might look at what you're doing and then claim to be able to do the same thing, promise the same service, the same products, all the rest. Chances are they can't deliver, and not in the same way, because again, they don't know what you're doing in the background. They don't know how you're delivering your thing. I bet you get that all the time with people doing, I can do this, that and the other. And then they can't, because they don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more complicated than they think.
Yes.
For sure.
It almost always is. It's like, I'm not a big fan of complicating things, but when we say it's more complicated than they think, what I mean by that, in Joe's case it genuinely is, but what I mean by that is that you just don't know what, even as simple as how I send my books out. People don't know how I do that. They don't know how I go about packaging things up. They don't know how I go about contacting my clients and potential clients. They don't know what those systems are, not because I keep them particularly secret, but just because I don't, it's not that interesting. The nuts and bolts is not that interesting.
Looking at your marketing does not tell you those things.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't tell you those things. So listen to what is going on with your ideal reader and your potential clients. What do they want? What do they need? How can you serve them? And listen and watch what's going on in your industry and in the wider world as well. What's changing? Do you need to shift with it? Because if you're really focused on what your competitors are doing, you are going to miss what's going on in the outside world and what changes in your industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to be running to catch up. So really pay attention to that kind of thing. Don't worry about what your competitors are up to beyond a passing, keeping an eye on things in your industry interest. And remember that imitation generally leads to mediocrity. So, yeah, let them get on with it. If you write a wonderful, honest and personality-filled book and you run a personality-filled business, you won't have any competitors. People will choose you for you. That's really important. I know that I've had a lot of pushback on that in the past. It's like, it's bullshit to say that you don't have any competitors. But I don't really. It's like there are other people that do what I do. And if people want to go and if my potential clients want to go and choose to work with those people, that's great. I'm happy with that because that probably means that their personalities are a better fit than my personality. I don't want to work with people who would rather be working with somebody else. I want to work with people who think, she seems fun, or she seems like someone who can get this done, or I like the way she works.
Yeah.
So that's good. There's plenty of pie out there for everybody. It's not... In fact, it's not even like a pie. It's not like a pie where you eat some and then some of it's gone. It's like an infinite, well, may as well be infinite.
Infinite pie.
Yeah, I think how many people are out there who want to write books or may want to write books. There's millions of them. There's no way that all of us could possibly service all of those people. It's ridiculous. So just keep an eye, but don't focus on your competitors.
And don't worry about your competitors keeping too much of a close eye on you, because if they try and copy you, they won't do a good job. No,
and if they're spending that much time watching you, then they need to focus on their own shit, basically. Okay, so... Oh, and the final thing is, maybe your competitors can serve a section of the market that you can't or don't want to serve. Make friends with them. I refer people all the time to other people. Not because... Not for any reason other than, either I haven't got space or time to work with new clients right now, or because actually I think that person genuinely will be a better fit than me. And so I'm not interested in kind of gathering people towards me at all costs. I turn down a lot of work partly because I don't have time to do it all, obviously, but also because I'm like, actually, I think that person would be better served by working with that competitor over there. Mm-hmm. And so that builds really good relationships with the person that I refer, because they know that I'm doing something in their best interest, and B, the person that I'm referring to. And I like getting on with people in my industry, especially my industry. It's a difficult one. Books and publishing and self-publishing it's a fantastic thing, and it's not easy. And so the more of us there are, the better. The more of us there are doing well and doing good things, the better, I think. So if you are a ghostwriter or a book coach or a small publisher, independent publisher, get in touch. I would love to talk to you. It's really nice to make friends. I love doing that. I'll cheer you on. So Joe, what's the takeaway?
Keep your eyes on what you're doing and let your competitors get on with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Innovate. Move forward.
Innovate, don't imitate. Whoo!
We have really upset the cat by letting
Can
him
you
out.
hear Noodle? Oh, he's not happy.
He's now terribly upset outside.
Okay, so we have a review to read out. This is from a few years ago, and it's from Gingerback. I think that might be Keith. Keith, if you're still listening, hi.
Hello.
Do you want to read it, Joe? The headline is Not Even the Target Market.
Vicky really likes what she does. She's confident and knowledgeable in her subject, and these collectively make this a real pleasure to listen to. I don't run my own small business, but many of the ideas and philosophies Vicky talks about are entirely transferable to any workplace or personal project.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was 5 stars.
5 stars. So if you would like to be featured on the podcast, go to iTunes and leave us a review. Send me a link to it, or drop me a note and let me know you've left me a review, and we will read you out. And
nice.
If you have a business of your own, and you send me the review and you tell me who you work for and send me a URL, I will read out the URL and give you a bit of a plug.
Nice.
That I've just realised that might sound like I am fishing for reviews.
If you don't want to give us 5 stars, don't give us a
Yeah.
review.
I mean, you don't have to tell us anything. You don't have to leave a review at all. I feel really bad now.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Write a review. Don't write a review. It's fine.
Yeah, but we'll read you out. That'd be cool. I also want to, quick thank you. Thank you to Natasha Lewis. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Natasha.
Because she was listening to us talking about making bread, and she gave us some top tips for putting bread in bread tins, because it came out a little bit solid, didn't it?
We
haven't made any bread yet, because my mum brought us some bread. and we have not run out of that bread yet. But
next loaf is going in the tin.
And we will report back and let you know how it went. So thank you, Natasha. Coming up next week, we are going to be talking about more writing excuses. That was Noodle. He too is going to be talking about more writing excuses. And I can't remember what we're going to be talking about because my notes are actually from the one we did a few episodes ago. So,
very cool,
but there will be, tune in for the next writing excuse and we will demolish it and encourage you to, do your thing. So finally, I am doing live writing sessions. I've launched a new thing. It's called the Moxie Power Hour. People are loving it already.
Nice.
People are getting so much stuff done. I did, and I do them as well. So this morning I got 1,500 words written of an article, which otherwise I would have faffed about. And I felt super smug by the time it got to 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you too would like to feel super smug by 8 o'clock in the morning, join the Moxie Books Power Hour at moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour. It's only £25 a month, which is £2 a session. I answer questions as well. I do a little writing tip, a little writing skill. So it's not just the accountability, but mostly it's the accountability and a little bit of camaraderie as well.
So it's an hour of getting stuff done.
Hour of getting your shit writ. Yeah. Get your shit writ. That might be the tagline.
Get your shit writ.
It's not good, is it? moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour, link in the show notes. And we will be back same time next week.
Nice.
Thanks, Stuart.
No worries.
Ta-ta.
Bye.